Humanoids are a great promise for logistics automation. But what keeps them away from being deployed all over the place? Let's talk honestly about their challenges in today's episode.
Automation Awakenings, your weekly dose of best practices for logistics automation.
Welcome back to another episode of the Automation Awakenings podcast. And welcome back, Oliver Zuchowski.
Thank you very much, Matthias. Great to be back here with you.
With a very interesting and, I would say, controversial topic. And that's the question on why humanoids are not deployed all over the place yet.
Yes, watching the YouTube movies, they promise us that actually humanoids can do everything.
Yes, from parkour to lifting boxes to walking snowy slopes, all of that seems to be no problem, but still there must be some challenges. In the preparation for this episode, we identified actually 3 clusters of challenges. The first one being technical challenges that are still open. Then we have some economic challenges that, make investments quite tricky at the moment. And then finally, we also have social implications that we need to talk about.
Yes, and because of that, we thought about also dividing these 3 categories into 3 episodes. So we have a lot of time to spend and dive deeply into the topics.
Excellent. All right. So let's take the technical challenges today and keep the others for the episodes to come.
And there are a lot, Matthias.
Yeah, I think we can definitely fill the episode with the technical challenges.
All right. So if you think about this super complex machine, the interplay between hardware and software, what is the biggest technical challenge to overcome?
Well, I think from a technical point of view, there is one topic that is brought up time and again, and that's the topic of power supply. Right? You have a lot of very sophisticated technology in a humanoid with motors, actuators, with GPUs, with cameras. All of that is consuming a lot of energy. And of course, all of that comes down to the battery that is sitting in the humanoid that of course shouldn't be too bulky or too heavy, because otherwise, you won't be able to deploy it into the use cases you would like to see it in.
And that's why we've seen, and we are still seeing, a lot of humanoids walking around with a secret cable.
That's right. So next time you watch some videos, some humanoid videos, try to spot those cables that sometimes are hanging from the ceiling, sometimes dragged by the humanoids on the floor. I have one particular video by Tesla Optimus popping up when I talk about it. That's a video where the Optimus is serving drinks to employees in a let's say in a lab environment, and you're gonna see a cable hanging down from the ceiling there, supplying the bot with power.
Yeah, because otherwise, probably this bot would only run for a couple of minutes, maybe, and needs to recharge.
Yes, that's the question. I haven't seen any detailed stats about the battery runtime for the major humanoids that we have discussed in the podcast yet. But let's assume they have to go charging quite frequently in comparison to other robots, for example, the mobile robots that are quite optimized here already, but they don't have to have this slim design, they don't have to look fancy, so the battery can take more space and can, of course, serve this robot way longer than it probably does for the humanoid.
All right, so for sure, this is a barrier at the moment.
Right.
Let's have a look on the next one.
Yeah, The next one I would go with is the topic of autonomy. When I say autonomy, I mean the fact that the humanoid is operating by itself. So there is no human overseeing it. There is no human needed to train it. There is no human needed to control them. And that's not really given at the moment yet. So so there's one rule. When humanoid providers do not explicitly point out that the humanoid is autonomous, don't assume it. So in many of those showcase videos or those showcase situations, there are still humans controlling the humanoids in the background. A very good example is the We Robot event by Tesla, where, well, there's a lot of reports about humans, well, controlling the whole show, and also the humanoids there. And that's an issue because when we talk about humanoids, we talk about the Swiss Army knife analogy, isn't it, Ollie?
Yes, of course, because the humanoid can bring a lot of advantages using all of the technology it has, all the sensors it has, tools it can use, and in the best case, you don't even have to adapt your environment much because you replace a human with a humanoid. It's retrofit, and with the Swiss Army philosophy, Swiss Army knife philosophy, it takes over all kinds of tasks.
Exactly. It can switch between the tasks easily and can also learn those tasks quite easily. And this is where the lack of autonomy is still a problem. So I don't really have a clear understanding on how this works with humanoids today, on how complicated it is to train them to do particular jobs. And and this is an issue. This is an issue, especially the training topic is still at the very beginning of what we need.
Well, Matthias, you are touching here nothing less than one of the biggest dreams in human history.
Okay.
To build a robot which looks like a human, which learns automatically and mimics human movements and tasks, and is even fully adaptable. And I think this is the promise of humanoids, but there's still a really long way to go there.
Yeah, yeah. I'm totally sure that each and every humanoid producer has this vision and this roadmap on how to get these things done. So don't get me wrong here. But for me as a user, I would like to have the same procedure with a Unitree, with a Optimus, with a Figure, and with an Apollo. I don't want to train different human key users to take care of different humanoids. I want them to have a standard training or learning approach, might be a mimicking approach, might be using a large behavior model. Very interesting. So a model that we know from ChatGPT in terms of language. And the Toyota Research Institute is developing something similar for human behavior at the moment. So it's a very exciting idea that you might have a library of human behavior in the future that the humanoid can connect to and then use those behavior snippets to perform tasks or to do tasks or learn tasks. But this is, again, still in a very, very early stage. We have Boston Dynamics collaborating with the Toyota Research Institute on that. So definitely something we should follow up and check in terms of progress. But there is no one approach at the moment.
Yes, and now imagine the customer perspective. Yeah, you buy this humanoid robot. Let's say somebody comes and implements it to your use case according to your requirements, and then you would like to change something, even a minor topic, changing the position of a station,
Yes,
where it picks up the carton box. Yeah, only this. How can you actually do it? Do you need the expert again? Can a key user do it? Can it mimic you? and nobody's talking really about that. We are still struggling with classical mobile robots. Also there we are at a point where we are switching from everything needs to be done by the supplier to more and more tasks and adaptations can be done by the customer themselves. With humanoids, we are again here at the absolute beginning, I think.
Yeah, totally. And you're already touching something that is my last big issue in terms of technical challenges, and that's the service, maintenance, and repair question. So what you said is, adapting humanoids to new environments, to new layouts. That's my service question mark I have here. Will I be able to do it on my own as a user? Will the provider do it on their own? So how will the servicing look like in terms of usage? And then also, what happens if this very complex technical device breaks down, if it has a bug, if it gets run over by a forklift,
if it slips.
So what's going to happen then? Can I service it myself? Can I repair it myself? Will I get trained to do that? Do I have to send it to the Silicon Valley or to China to get repaired? So all of that is still very unclear to me at the moment. I don't know what is your perception on that, but for me, this is still very open.
I already see the humanoid robot, which was damaged by a forklift, maybe even cut off its head by a fork.
That's very brutal, Olli.
Yes, but imagine this might happen.
Okay.
And then how to understand what is actually damaged. Do I need to connect wires, or do I need to set up the AI module again? And I doubt that you have an AI module expert in your factory available.
For sure not. Not now, at least.
Yeah.
Maybe in 15 years. But it's a good example. I mean, logistics is a tough business. And also in the future, we're going to see different actors moving around on the shop floor. It might be milk runs, it might be forklifts, it's going to be humanoids, mobile robots, all kind of traffic. So we have to assume that there's going to be situations where they crash, right? It's the way it is. Yeah, let's be honest here, and also the other environmental aspects like dust, like heat, like cold, like humidity. All of that is also coming into play. So I think when you select a mobile robot, one of your major questions, and I know that, is how does the service and support network look like?
Sure.
Right? So the price, yes, it's important. The functionalities, yes, it's important. But then you need this network to be established so that you can call someone up to come and help you within hours to bring this device back to work. Because if it's not working, you have a problem in your factory or in your warehouse. And the same thing is to be clarified for humanoids, of course, right? How does this work? How quickly do I get it back? Is there a replacement? Do I need to hire someone again to do this job? All of that needs further investigation and fine-tuning.
You know, Matthias, during our discussion, I realized one important conclusion, I think, that all of the challenges are very similar with classical mobile robots and with humanoids. But with humanoids, they are 100 times more complex, more severe, more difficult to address. You need experts who know how to manage AI-based devices, for example.
Yeah.
how to repair them. You need much better batteries because you don't have so much space, and everything we touch is much more complex than in the classical mobile robots world.
Yeah, I would like to quote Daniel Theobald here, who was a guest on our show just not too long ago, and he said that robotics is the pinnacle of engineering.
Wow, yes, true.
Right? And humanoids is the pinnacle of robotics. So you are in a very, very complex technical world here that is having its challenges at the moment to really find application in today's, let's say, dirty, dull, dangerous logistics world.
Yeah, that means we haven't solved these topics for the classical world of mobile robots. So for sure, we are at the very, very beginning for humanoids.
Yes, I think these are good ending words. Don't get us wrong here. We are certain that we're going to see humanoids in a form or another in the future, in our warehouses, in our logistics facilities. But these topics are still open from our point of view. Maybe you have some other technical challenges that come to your mind, maybe that you have experienced when testing a humanoid. So please let us know. We are very eager to learn what you know, and we would be happy when you tune in Monday in 2 weeks again to discuss the commercial implications that we have with humanoids.
Thanks for watching, and see you in 2 weeks.
Take care. Goodbye.
This was another episode of the Automation Awakenings podcast. Visit us at automation-awakenings.com.